Well, proteostasis is a very interesting concept. It literally appeared for the first time in 2008 when Jeff Kelly, Bill Balch, Andy Dillon, and I published a paper in the journal Science where we proposed the term proteostasis. And of course, it's an abbreviation of the term protein homeostasis, but it's meant to be so much more. It's all the stress signaling pathways, it's all the quality control mechanisms that ensure the health and robustness of a cell. And one thing we know about aging and neurodegenerative disease is failure, that the cells and tissues fail with age, they lose their capacity to respond to environmental signals, proteins misfold and aggregate, and of course then over time they lead to loss of neuronal function and loss of brain tissue. So we think that a fundamental understanding of proteostasis is not only essential to understand neurodegenerative diseases, but even more interesting, it's not specific to just Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or ALS or Huntington's disease or frontotemporal dementia. We propose that it's a fundamental to all age-associated degenerative diseases, and I think for that reason offers a very interesting integrative way to think about these diseases. The common feature of aging alone and age-associated neurodegenerative disease is protein aggregation. Every disease has protein aggregates. And so I think we can say, well, are protein aggregates good or bad? And so you can think about it very much like the clutter that builds up in a house when you forget to use the vacuum cleaner, you forget to sweep, or you don't have a housekeeper. And over time, that of course, it becomes debilitating. You forget where things are, you stumble over things, and all of a sudden you lose where you are. Well, imagine that happens to the cell, and the cell loses its capacity to sense and respond. So it's really a very exciting time where if one now, for example, increases the levels of molecular chaperones who have the function to recognize proteins that are misfolded, it's been demonstrated in every model system experimentally that you can prevent, retard, or suppress aggregation. Likewise, if you increase the amount of clearance machinery, activate the ubiquitin proteasome, which gets rid of garbage, or autophagy that gets rid of garbage, you can now prevent or suppress aggregation. So I think the experimental evidence is quite compelling that identify the problem, and I think the challenge for disease is to not wait until the patient has neurological symptoms. And could we, for example, identify the molecular changes very early and use that as a basis?